Hi there, thanks for clicking on this video. It's going to be a review of the CZ455 with a 16-inch varmint barrel in 22LR with the laminate thumbhole walnut stock. I'll see you shortly after the intro. Hi guys, welcome back. So this is my review of the CZ455, as I said before. I've owned it for just under 6 months now. Love it, but it hasn't always been the case. So this video today is just to bring you up to date about what the little mods I've done to make it a better rifle, in my opinion. Most of it is internal. There's nothing really external that's really wrong with it. As you can see, it's a stunning bit of kit, but I ultimately, the stock version, when it comes out of the box, put your scope on, take it down to range it up, has probably the worst trigger I've ever tested. It's so agricultural. It's a single stage trigger, nothing wrong with that, but it had quite a lot of creep in it. Had a very long, what I thought, pull, not really crisp in release, and frankly the accuracy really suffered because of it. Maybe there's others out there who have had slightly better out of the box triggers, but coming from air rifles which have got pretty good these days, especially top end PCPs, I've got HW100, has a 2-stage trigger, match quality, it's absolutely fantastic. I was expecting something similar to that, and with this being my first FAC rifle, didn't get it, let's be honest. So quick hunt around on the web, different forums, Facebook groups, etc. There are thankfully kits you can get to improve this trigger, and one of those is from Rimfire Magic, based here in the UK, and 15 quid. I mean, best £15 ever. But once I'd done that, replaced it, put it back together, I found that actually the creep had gone, and the trigger was transformed. I mean, unbelievable night and day difference. So if you get one of these rifles, get that 15 quid trigger pack. Obviously do your own tests. I've done various bump tests on this. It doesn't go off, and I'm very happy with it. And that massively increased the enjoyment I was getting out of the rifle, because at over sort of 40-50 yards, you know, the groups were just ridiculous. I just couldn't get on with it. But now, unbelievable. I mean, fantastic. I'm talking 1/4 of an inch, easy at 50 yards. And obviously you've got to play around with different ammunition. My local RFD had Ely subs, Winchester subs, and CCI, and that's all I had to choose from. So I took a couple of boxes of each, and I went through them, and CCI, rubbish, Winchester subs, inconsistent, Ely subs, absolutely awesome. So out the box, magazine wise, you get 5 shot mag here, nicely built, and yeah, it's pretty easy, simple to load. Can't really go wrong, to be honest. And that just simply slots into the bottom there. Not flush fitting, but nothing too bad out there. And I actually opted as well for a 10-shot magazine, so in total giving me 15 went out in the field, which presently at the moment, between October when I got it and now, night shooting was plenty. I have actually ordered a 25 round banana almost magazine that sort of would sit kind of like this. It looks a bit crazy, but the reason behind it is I've sort of fumbled about in the back, in the pockets and so forth when I was looking for the other magazine. And if I'm off my Primos sticks, then there's no issues about the actual magazine sort of sticking out or hitting the ground or anything like this, which you might incur when you just sort of trotting around, stalking, or trying to lie down, because with a 25 round you wouldn't be able to do it. But for nighttime shooting with off the sticks, either sitting or standing, I reckon it'll be perfect, and I won't have to sort of faff about loading and also then looking for other magazines, which would be perfect. So this particular rifle, which comes with the 16-inch varmint heavy barrel, is threaded at the front, half-inch UNF. So I've gone for the a-tec Wave. I don't know if that will focus in there, but it's worked out very well, and it finishes very well here. So if I just quickly drop it on, I think I should pull that into shot so it's there. So you can see it actually finishes flush with the barrel at the end. So I think aesthetically, some moderators can be quite big, bulky. I think this one looks really nice and finishes very nicely there. But aesthetics aside, this does the job. Unbelievably quiet. I mean, really quiet. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter how quiet you get them. At the business end, when it hits whatever you're shooting, whether it be rabbits, crows, things like that, it makes quite a smack, especially those hollow points. But from here, this end, all you'll be hearing is the action. I mean, it's superb. I mean, these are 40 quid. You can get what I was looking at, some vastly more expensive moderators, but for 40 quid, can't complain. And apparently, as well, you can use them on your air rifles, which I didn't realise. So if you've got a 2.2, you can get one of those as well, and swap it between both rifles. So really, overall, really pleased with the rifle. It's great value for money. I wanted the thumbhole rollover laminate stock. I think it's the best looking version, but also ergonomically, it's very, very nice to hold, very, very nice to manoeuvre around, and it's perfectly on my cheek all the time. Whereas when I had the other ones, I didn't like the feel of just a normal pistol grip. Maybe that's because I had some thumbhole on my VR Arc. I'm just so used to it now. That's why I went for this particular setup. But this was 540 quid. I think you can get it for £500 if you shop around. But this 540 is what it was at my local RFD. And as I said, it's fantastic. I can't complain. I mean, brilliant rifle. And you do see the differences in scenarios where air rifles struggle, I find, in the winter where I shoot on paddocks, things like that, to really keep control of the numbers, because you can't ultimately get that close to them even at night, and even with night vision gear. So we've gone from 3-4 a night to 10-12 a night, because we can get anything within 100-120 yards is brown bread, and that's what it's all about. And so it's been a great tool for that, and I'm sure during the spring summer months my RF will start to come back out and go into parts of the permissions where this isn't really practical because of the safety in the backgrounds or backstop, shall I say. You're thinking of getting a rimfire and looking around. It was at the gun show a couple of weeks ago, or sort of 3 weeks ago now, and they are bringing out some new versions of this particular rifle. So same 455 action, same bow action, nothing's changing there. But stock-wise, they're bringing out some new fancy stocks with adjustable butt pad, which I do think this could benefit from. Adjustable cheek piece as well, which is probably going to make it maybe a lot more comfortable, and also length of pull which is quite interesting because I'm quite tall, long arms, and maybe it could just be a little longer, when I'm holding it up like that. I don't really, see a massive difference, but it'd probably be a little bit more comfortable. But with that adjustability comes costs, and I'm sure it'll cost a lot more than what I paid for this particular setup. So you'll not go wrong with this whatsoever. So my overall thoughts is brilliant. Love it. Can't fault it for the value. Can't fault it for the accuracy. Just got to get used to it. Get that trigger kit if you're going to get it. Get the extra 5-shot magazine or 10-shot magazine. Or even a 25-shot magazine like I'm getting. And it'll make life a lot easier. Maintenance-wise, it's low maintenance. Give it a few sprays of any sort of good quality gun oil spray, and it'll start to wear in very nicely. But I think moving on with ownership, I will change this bolt. I think the bolt is far too short. Got very little clearance there, and when you've got gloves on and there's a couple of wires coming down from the night vision, you start to get lost where you are and the bolt where it is. So I think there are some tactical options which just come out a little bit further, a little bit longer, to allow you then to just have a bit more freedom of movement, so you know exactly where you are. You might be able to mount your scopes a little bit lower, but just it works fine as it is. But wouldn't mind just, if you can just see there just how close my hands are. That's without gloves on to the end of the scope, so you can always feel yourself rubbing. So if I had it just with maybe down to about there, and it's more straight as opposed to the way that the actual bolt pulls up, that would be a better modification. CZ do a tactical handle, but the cheapest I've seen it is £100 odd, which, to be fair, is quite dear for what is quite a sort of, doesn't really do anything, just screws on. But it's probably one of those things, once I get it, you'd never live without when you're on there. So that's probably the next mod for me, and that's it. It couldn't be any more simpler to operate. But if you've got any questions or anything like that, just click below, put a comment on there. I hope you've enjoyed this short review, and I hope that's helped you in some way. Either say, yep, that's for me, or no, it's not for me. And as I said, any questions, just give me a shout. See you later. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it, and subscribe.